Okay. How do you photograph crazy children running around everywhere and take photos that are actually beautiful with the light being accurate and beautiful and the composition being beautiful? Like, how do you juggle those two things, chaos and control? If you're a family photographer, if you're a kid photographer, probably if you're a pet photographer, anytime you're taking photos of something that is moving and changing, happy one moment, sad the next, won't look at the camera, that's a whole can of worms in itself. And you're really going to feel overwhelmed when you first start if you're also trying to figure out your camera settings. You're like, I'm trying to get you to smile, but I also am like trying to make sure that this isn't overexposed. Do you feel my pain? Do you feel it? So it's like, that's what you're going to find at first. You're going to walk onto these photo shoots and there's so much to juggle. I call it juggling because there's the camera, the posing, the talking to parents, the managing children, the light is changing. You're also trying to like keep an eye on the clock. Okay, I think I've painted enough of a picture of the reality of being a family photographer. Now, how do we fix this? One piece at a time. Take one of the balls that you're juggling and bring it down, put it in your focus only on that. Give yourself permission to forget the rest. If you try and focus on all the things you're juggling, you're gonna drop them and get overwhelmed. Tell yourself, it's okay if I totally fuck up this shoot. If every photo is boring and the poses are awkward and their facial expressions are weird, that's okay. As long as with this shoot, every photo is perfectly clear. No blurriness, no fuzziness. It's like sharp. It's scary, right? Because you want to deliver a perfect photo. You want to give them the beautiful image and have them look cute. It sucks to deliver the product and be like, here you go. You don't look good, but at least they're clear. But you have to do that. And then take another ball down and say, this time on this shoot, the only thing that matters is that the lighting is exposed the way I want it to be. That you can see everything clearly. It's not too bright. It's not too dark. The colors look good. You know, it's like, oh, it's clear. Then next time you take another ball down and maybe that time it's the posing. I'm just going to make sure that they are natural and having fun and playing and they're smiling and they look the way I want them to look. They feel good. Shit, they were all blurry. This is what you have to go through when you start taking photos. You have to go through this muddiness of making mistakes. And this is why we photograph people for free, friends, family, oranges, whatever you need to photograph. Or you charge, but you charge with the understanding of what you're doing. You say to your client, this is what I'm charging and this is what I'm experimenting with. This is where I need to improve. Would you help me by being one of my subjects? I need someone to practice on. And you're going to grow really quickly. You grow faster when you're on your computer after the shoot studying the photos. You need to look at the photos and be like, side by side, these are the 4 photos that are all similar. Why do I like this one? Why don't I like this one? How come this photo is perfect, but it's blurry? Damn it. And then you're like, oh, this photo is perfectly clear and crisp, but it's boring. Damn it. And you have to sit there at your computer and feel frustrated so that your brain gets the message. And it's like, okay, never do that again. Remember that. And then you get out there and you do your next photo shoot and you're like, okay, I messed up so bad last time. It drove me crazy. So the ball that we're going to bring down and focus on today is that one. And at the end of that shoot, you've just spent like an hour focusing on making sure every photo is perfectly clear. You've drilled it into your mind and your body, your muscle memory. You might need to do it for a few shoots, but sometimes just one is enough. And then you'll notice that after a series of photo shoots, each shoot focusing on a different ball, the skills start to blend together, and you'll find that you show up at a photo shoot and you're like, I don't even need to think about photos being blurry or exposed, I just do it naturally, which means now let's look at which balls are still floating around. What else do I need to focus on? And what you focus on gets more and more fine-tuned. So now, after years and years of taking family photos, I don't worry about if the photos are going to be blurry anymore. It's so natural muscle memory for me that my photos are crisp. But it went through a while to get there. Now what I focus on is like, okay, I'm going to make sure that, like on this shoot, we're going to only shoot in our widest aperture. I'm going to crank it all the way down to 1.2 or 1.4, and I'm not going to change it. And I'm going to challenge myself to take every single photo at that open, wide thing. That means I'm going to come home with bad photos. I think it's a good thing to come home with bad photos. Not because you thought you did awesome and you just were shit, but because you were pushing yourself on purpose. You're like, well, yes, I know if I'm going to go to a shoot with a wide open aperture, I'm going to come home with photos that have the wrong thing in focus and that are kind of maybe blurry, but they're not blurry because I was shaky. They're blurry because I was focusing on something and I got the focus point in the wrong place. That's what I'm practicing. So whatever I'm practicing is what I'm going to find mistakes in. And I want to see those mistakes so that I can see them improve. When I come home from a shoot and every single photo is perfectly in focus and I was shooting wide open, then I've mastered that particular skill and I'll move to another thing. Now, it doesn't mean that I'll forevermore only shoot with an open aperture. It just means that I've trained myself to be good at it, so now I can do any aperture. I'm more versatile. Does that make sense? Maybe you need to practice people skills. Like at this photo shoot, I'm going to do as much talking as possible because maybe you're too quiet. Maybe you don't give enough instruction. So your challenge is the whole shoot, I'm going to be talking. I'm going to be giving instruction. I'm going to be giving feedback and compliments and asking them questions about their life and like interacting. And then when you get back to the shoot, look at the photos and see, how did that go? Did you notice that this is the photo you took before you told the joke? This is the photo you took after you told the joke? Did that joke work? Did it look awkward? Like, maybe you needed the opposite. Maybe you talk too much. Maybe you need to do a photo shoot where you say minimal, like challenge yourself to say nothing. How do those photos turn out? Do you see my point? So this is a broader topic. You asked me about composition and lighting. How do you get better at composition and lighting with crazy kids running around? Those are just the balls. Today, for the next week, the next month, every photo shoot, we are focusing on the perfect lighting. We're focusing on composition. So learn a composition tool, a trick. Like the first one everybody learns is the rule of thirds, right? So go on a photo shoot and say, this whole shoot is dedicated to the rule of thirds with children running around like crazy monsters. And you will find very quickly that your composition and your lighting, or whatever it is that you want to improve at, is going to improve because you're focusing on it. You're putting your energy on it. And it doesn't matter then if you're photographing a pear, an apple, a building, a train, or a child. That skill in itself will improve, and overall the whole thing will improve. And as your skill set improves, then you're going to be able to start to photograph anything. Doesn't matter how chaotic it is, because you're confident in your skills, and it gives you a solidness and a grounding and a clarity that you're like, the world can be spinning around me. I'm with my camera. I know how to handle this. And that's how I feel now. Kids can come running at me from all angles, and I'm like, okay, well, let's do this. And that's a whole nother video, how to work with children as they're running at you, because that happens. That's all I'll say on this for right now. I hope that was helpful. Was that helpful? Please ask me more questions if you have them, because I'm super happy to answer them for you. Feels awesome to be able to share knowledge, right? Like spending years practicing something, just hoping that you get better, and then you see that it worked, and now I can give it to you. So I hope you're having fun photographing kids and families, and that you're able to focus on the juggle. Just bring one ball down and leave a comment. Tell me what ball you're focusing on right now. I would love to hear that, because it will remind me of all the different balls that I've been juggling and which ones. Maybe I'll have a tip for you. Cool. All right. So my name is CHAMONIX. My company is the Happy Film Company, and we take photos of kids and their families in the Seattle area. And we do photos and we do videos. And if you're in town, I would love to take your photo. And if you're on the internet, I would love to talk to you. See? All right, have a great day. Bye.